All right, everybody, welcome back again. Episode number 38. We are the Metal Block. With me, as always, my two bestest buddies in the whole world. We got Brutal Brando. Say what's up, Brutal Brando.
What's up?
And we've also got Scary Greg. Scary Greg.
What up, what up?
And we are going to be hanging with y'all today. It's the start of 2025. Got a new year going. It's the first episode of the new year, so we're really excited about that. Hope we can kick it off right. And like, subscribe, check out all the social media stuff: X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and see what's going on. We like to post new music out all the time. We like to post upcoming shows, any kind of band news that we hear, especially something if it's like big. And yeah, you get a lot of good information on there. And I know Brando stays pretty active, and he does a real good job. So don't skip that. Check it out. So, what are we going to do today? Well, we thought we would rewind, take it back to some old school, and do a little quick album review, and then a couple of little fun things after that. So, Brando, you want to talk about what album we're going to talk about? Brandon's
Yeah.
eating these. First, tell us what you're eating.
Oh man, some nerds gummy clusters.
Mmm.
Oh yeah, it's my jam.
I have a
So,
Coke float personally. It's a Coke float.
Nice.
I have
You
nothing.
gotta have your
I have
sweets.
nothing. But I did just eat some peanut butter and crackers right before the
Oh,
show. So
you animal.
I know. So anyway, that's not what we're doing today. Talking about what we're eating. Obviously, that was just something that popped up. Brandon is about to tell us about the album we're going to talk about.
I think we're gonna talk about the band Maul and their 2024 release of In the Jaws of Bereavement. Yeah, came out on October 4th of last year. It's a pretty cool album. I remember giving it like a little bit of a listen when it first was released, but I never spent much time on it. And it's something I'd wanted to go back to. So I threw it out to you guys as a suggestion for a little bit of today's entertainment and to kind of lead into one of our little fun segments, which some of our longtime listeners might remember we did this once before. We take an album, we all three listen on different streaming platforms. I'm on Apple Music, Zoomy's on YouTube Music. Greg, you do Spotify, right? Yep. All right. Got a thumbs up from Greg. So we like to see after the album ends, what kind of random shit does our respective streaming platforms throw at us and see if we're getting the same thing or, how wildly different it is. So we thought we would use Malls in the Jaws of Bereavement as our impromptu start to that. So I actually really enjoyed this album. It was really cool. A lot of cool rhythm, good riffs, like slow stuff, but awesome vocals. I mean, I thought it was a pretty interesting listen. What about you guys?
Yeah, I thought it was really good as well. It took me by surprise, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is, a lot better than I was expecting. And I hate saying that because it makes it sound like I'm not giving the band enough credit, but I guess, I wasn't in the beginning. And so, that's why it's really good that we do this every now and then, pull an old album out of the hat and not even really old, right? It's still pretty new, still pretty current. We just hadn't had a chance to really talk about it yet. And, guitar work was stellar in this album. And also, one thing that just stood out to me immediately was the vocal layering. There's cool layers on the vocals. That's always something that whenever it's done right, I immediately notice it. And, if I were to probably put something on recording and it were to be, brutal, I would be like, we got to layer those vocals, because it's just a sound that stands out to me and I like so much. And they do it well on this album. And kind of the last thing I'll talk about is just the overall topic of the album. And it seems to have very like death undertone in the jaws of bereavement. I don't know if bereavement means this across the board. I probably should have looked it up first, but bereavement, the way I've always understood it, is like kind of a mourning process, like time after death, time after something's died that, you have that you take and you mourn and handle the business of saying goodbye to whatever it is, that died. So, um, hope I don't sound like a dummy. Somebody, correct me. I'm cool with that. Let me know if I'm saying stuff that's wrong. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting album, uh, like name, and like interesting in a good way. And I also thought that the music went along with that title pretty well. So, yeah, it was really good. I was impressed, and I'm ready to listen to that one again and again and again. I've already like started listening to it over again, some today. I just didn't get a chance to finish it. But yeah, it's been a daily listen since we've got going. Good stuff. Good recommendation.
Cool. So I looked it up for you, and it's bereaved, and it is deprived of a close relation or friend through their death.
So there was a little bit. I was like walking right along that, but I didn't say those
Hmm.
words. So, yeah, pretty cool. I like
There
it.
you go.
I like the overall topic as well as the actual product. Like what it's music. So yeah, it's great that there's this like dance that goes along with the song, but you got to have the song before you have the dance. So they got a good song, if any of
But
that makes sense.
yeah, for sure. Greg, what did you think?
It was good. Starting out for me, like the first track has Vincent Bennett on it, so that's a strong opening. He's killer. And I thought, yeah, like you said, Zoomy, their layering on their vocals is really kick ass. And some of the vocals on it reminded me like kind of like an older Job for a Cowboy type vibe, but the music is kind of like 200 Stab Wounds, Gate Creeper, that kind of mix, So it's good, man. Kind of enjoy not having to listen to a noodle fest every once in a while and just being able to bang my head. But yeah, it's a solid album for damn sure.
Man,
Yeah.
that opening track, it's actually the title track in the Jaws of Bereavement, and it has some really cool like chugs throughout the song and they're not super fast, but they have some cool groove to them. And that stood out to me was I was like, you just mentioned no noodling, and I'm like, yeah, you're totally right. Just some good
Yeah, I mean
riffage.
they're talented guitarists. I mean, I think
Yes.
didn't we say earlier they had three guitarists? Is that what I read to you guys?
According to Metal Archives, yeah, there's
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
there's
I'm
three
not
three
taking
guys that at
anything.
least did something guitar wise on there.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from it, and they definitely
Yeah,
have their moments where they're technical and all that, but it's not buried alive. You know what I mean? It's not just like you have to sit there and study the song. I just like being able to, like I said, bang my head like the whole Kubla Khan on the back of my, the hoodie says less is more. So I kind of like that approach sometimes. But yeah,
yeah.
it's give a thumbs up for me. I'm definitely gonna check it out more. Kick ass from what I heard for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
you mentioned still having a technical side. You are correct in that because there was still a lot of really cool like lead work that they had throughout the album. And I forgot to say that a second ago, but you just saying that kind of triggered my memory into that comment as well. So one more
For
thing
sure.
that is good about it, and you should check it out.
Oh
So
yeah.
you guys both mentioned the vocals, and to me, like it almost felt like there was a different vocalist on every song. Like the way they layered it, it seemed different throughout the album. So, I mean, I didn't really like look into it online or anything. I don't know if there are multiple vocalists on there. I know you said there's the guest vocalist on the opening track, but I mean, I thought it was a really cool little element to it. Like I would often listening. I think I listened to it a few times today, and just each time I kind of zone back in on it, it felt like I was listening to somebody different. So I thought that was cool. And then there was a part in the Jaws of Bereavement where like they do the guitar stuff, and then they do one of those chuggy like stop riffs, guitars. But then the bass keeps going, and it's not like super fast. But it's like doom 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 doom. And I was like,
Yeah, it's closer
man,
to the end.
that is fucking cool.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I like the way that felt and like sounded. I thought it
I
was
like
pretty.
that too. It stood out to
Yeah,
me, and I was like, "Ooh, little bass ditty." That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. I
Yeah,
dug that.
for sure. For sure. It was good.
So well,
Nice
cool. Well, sounds
touch.
like we all enjoyed it. Everybody should
Yeah.
go out and at least give it one spin. Maybe you'd find something new. Maybe a lot of you have already heard it and gave it the time of day it deserved before we did. I think, if I'm not mistaken, when we had the awesome kick-ass guitar player from Carrie and Vale and Severed Head Shop on, Mr. Ryan Cooter, I think he mentioned this as one of his like anticipated albums for 2024. We had him on kind of early in the year, and I think he mentioned these guys. So cool.
It's gonna
Good
be
job,
awesome if
Ryan.
it turns out that he didn't say that at all. You know.
Yeah, it is, but I think he did. I really think he did.
I'm just
But
kidding.
if he didn't, oh well.
Either way, you get the credit,
Cool,
buddy.
cool album anyway.
Ryan,
So
you're the man.
You're the man.
yeah, but you're right. That would be pretty funny if he didn't say that at all. Oh
Sorry,
well.
I'm an asshole.
I
I'm
challenge you all.
sorry.
I challenge you all to go back into our older episodes, find the Ryan Cooter episode,
Yeah.
and then let us know if I was correct or not.
Double dog dare you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
triple
Double Dog Dare
dog
You.
dare you.
That's right.
Yeah, I will
Whoever
mail
wins,
you
I'll make you a Coke
half-eaten
float.
lollipop
Yeah.
if you.
You get lollipops and I'll make you a Coke float if you win. I'll mail it
There
to
you
Coke
you.
go.
floats by
All
Greg.
right.
I
Yeah.
just
That's
want
the
to. I
deal.
want one of these Coke floats, man. I'm gonna
It's
win.
pretty damn good. I'm not
gonna
gonna
win.
lie. I had like 2 brain freezes already, and I can't stop eating it. So
Oh
That's
man,
the
it's
thing.
delicious. It's
the thing.
delicious.
Oh yeah. So, all right. Well, fellas, who were? What did your streaming platform give you
You want
after
me
you listened through it?
You want me to go? Are we doing this like
Yeah, go
Christmas,
ahead.
where
You
where we
go
open up
first.
one gift at a time, or are we
Nah,
like
just
just?
go
this one
ahead.
should be all
I'm-
5 each.
I'm
Yeah,
opening
go
mine,
for it.
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
go
Send
for
it.
All right. So, the first song that actually came up after this album was is by Lamb of God, Desolation. So, cool. You know, Lamb of God, solid. You know, some of these things that popped up. I'm gonna go ahead and just say this before I even say any of the other bands. You know, around Christmas time, we were doing a little bit of like a throwback and listening to some older albums. They weren't like new albums necessarily, just albums that, you know, we had listened to growing up, or albums that, you know, were like big for us and also big for metal in general. And Lamb of God was one of them. And so I was listening to some Lamb of God. So I don't know if that's why this thing chose it. But anyway, there's some of these in there that I had been kind of re-listening through, especially as we did the recap of the 2024 stuff. And I was re-listening through a lot of stuff. And so I'm like, I don't know if some of this stuff would have popped up without. But anyway, the second is actually Catastrophic Reconfiguration. Are you guys familiar with this band?
Nah.
So there's a song called Molder. And it was good. It's a good song. So this
Any-
one was just purely a suggestion, I guess. You know,
Okay. Just out of curiosity, the song is called Mulder because there's a band called Mulder.
well, I was pretty sure that's what it said.
I believe you. Hey, man, just checking.
Hold on, we're gonna look.
Dun. Do, do,
The suspense is
Well,
killing me.
so okay, you're right. It is the band. I'm an idiot. And here's why though. Like I wish I could show you guys this.
Were you
It-
reading it like an American?
I
Zoomy?
must have been, because
Yeah.
it straight up says Catastrophic Reconfiguration song Molder.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay.
So,
I get it.
You know, and I mean, I probably should have looked at how it referenced on the other songs before I started talking, but great,
No,
Brandon.
you're good.
This is awesome.
That's a good catch.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Jimmy, what was the next one?
okay, this one I'm not going to mess up, okay? This one is The Black Dahlia Murder, and the song is called Catacomb, Hecatomb,
Yeah.
Hecatomb, Catacomb, Hecatomb.
That is very interesting. You're getting these songs because I
I
got
know.
like, I mean, you know, I don't not spoiling it, but mine are like new ones, you know, that all sound just like Maul. You know, I don't have any OGs like Lamb of God and Black Dahlia. Maybe because you were listening to the music, you know. But anyway,
Yeah,
keep
I
going.
mean,
Keep going. This is
Yeah,
interesting.
okay, so Carnosis is my fourth one that came
Okay.
up. And,
Yeah.
and the song is Yearnings of a Rotten Spine.
All right.
And
Yeah.
I actually like
Rotten
Carnosis.
Spine.
Yeah. I like Carnosis pretty good. They're you know, they're a band that comes up often on my shuffle. And
Yeah,
so
cool.
that's a lot of how I'm familiar with them is through that. And last but not least, Enterprise Earth, He Exists is the name of the
Okay.
track. He Exists. So
You got an interesting mix of stuff on yours.
I
That's
know.
cool.
Each one came up and I was like, what? You know?
Nice.
And so
Yeah.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Nice.
Sorry about the name mix up, Mulder.
No, you're
No, that's
good.
good
You know,
stuff.
Mulder's the only one that I think that sounds to me like it's like in line with that style of death metal as Maul. You
yeah,
know, like Mulder is a little bit more of that old school kind of chuggier death metal kind of sound. I think
right.
maybe with even a little bit of I almost want to say like obituary style vocals, kind of. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like a little bit
Mm-hmm,
higher
mm-hmm.
of the death metal vocals, but.
Yep.
Cool. That's an interesting list. What about you, Greg? What'd you get?
I got the first song was Maul, so Maul Infatuation, but I'm not counting that. But then so I got Let His Servants Starve by Tribal Gaze. Have you heard of
Okay.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty similar to Maul, like right around along the lines of that stuff. And the next was, ooh, it's giving me five different ones than it gave me earlier. Okay,
Ooh.
but 200 stab wounds. Um, let's see, what is it? Flatline featuring Jamie Morgan and Code Orange, which I'm imagining that Jamie Morgan is part of Code Orange. We've got Cuttered Flesh with Human Protein.
Sounds brutal.
Sorry, it's making me do. Those are so long that they're like spelling themselves out. It's not giving me. So, Human Protein Concentrate is by Cuttered
Yeah.
Flesh. Before we got the band Crawl with the song Knives. No idea
Nice.
who that one or Cuttered Flesh is. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, I like Crawl. Crawl put out an album last year. It was really cool.
Okay, cool. The song Knives, and then Numa Hagion, Drinking Beyond Time and Space.
That sounds like atmospheric black metal.
Yeah, it does.
It was
Interesting.
far out. All right. Well, that
Man.
is 100% different than the five that it gave me earlier that I was going to talk about. So,
Well,
all right.
that's cool. All right. So I got two bands, different songs that you guys each got. So the first one it gave me was Expirated Spatter by 200 Stab Wounds. Okay. Then it hooked me up with some, and I thought this was perfectly in line, both of these. Fulci, the song Nightmare. I was like, yeah, okay. These two bands are like perfect. Then it gave me Sangui Sugabog. Sangui Sugabug? Sangui.
The Boggy Bog.
Yeah.
I think Zoomy
Football.
actually was right about that in the beginning. I've heard many people say it since, and they all say, Sen Shugibog, or whatever the hell you used to say it. I mean, I think
Same
you
with
actually
Sugabog.
figured it out.
Sugabog.
You were the
Yeah.
first to figure it out.
Yeah. Then it gave me a band I had not. I saw somebody post this as one of their favorites from the year, but I hadn't checked it out. It's a band called Siverus, and I think the album was like Maze something, Maze Puzzle or something like that. But it's Garyon was the song. It was kind of atmospheric. It's a little slow. Um, and I'll have to give the rest of the album a listen. It was interesting. I've heard the other band so far, so that's the first one I wasn't familiar with. And then the last one it gave me was Mulder. Ah, the song "Huff the Stench."
That's how
So
you knew.
I know. I was
well,
like,
they
I
put out
mean,
an album. They put out an album last year too. We actually did a morning commute
but
of Mulder.
for it to actually be like on both of our shuffles is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened at all last time we did this. It's been a while since we did this, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't a single song that was like, or okay, not song, but I actually there
the
were
band.
bands. There were
Yeah.
bands that were
I
duplicated.
think
So
I think it's pretty cool
yeah,
the difference in these streaming platforms, and maybe like you said, what we've been listening to probably influences that a little bit, But I don't know by how much because it doesn't ever give me like Moana and Frozen songs. My 5-year-old
I,
listens to
I
that
can tell you
shit.
mine was not influenced by what I listened to.
Yeah,
I had no idea
yeah,
what the hell that stuff was.
yeah. So I mean, I think it's pretty cool the way that it does that. Like it's an interesting little exercise. I enjoyed that.
I
Thank you
kind of
for
wonder. Greg, you
humoring.
brought up a point. Like what I think the way you said, it's bringing you up a different set of songs the second time through or whatever.
hmm
Well, it is random.
Yeah, I know. I was just
But usually, like it'll give me the same 5 songs after an album ends. Like like that's interesting that it did that. Blah, 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 blah.
Well,
I'm kind of mumbling there.
I don't know. I'm doing mine right now. It's giving me Skeletal Remains, and then Outer Heaven, Vomit Forth, Zompantly,
See, mine just
and
gave me
then
the
200
same.
Stab Wounds.
Mine just gave me the same first two, but then in the number 3 it goes to Fuming Mouth, Timeless, Molder,
Yeah.
Pulped, and Negative Penance by Vomit Forth. Okay, I got two.
There you
No,
go.
Fuming Mouth and Vomit Forth. Like man, a lot of mouth stuff coming. Fuming and vomit, and a lot of stuff going on with the mouth.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and I was trying. Here's what's so funny, or I think it's so funny. I was trying to just go through mine again while you guys were doing it, and mine keeps saying connecting to YouTube TV, and so it like won't let me scroll through my songs, and I'm like,
Damn.
and it's probably my wife probably has a TV on upstairs. And she's probably watching YouTube, and I bet you every time she's watching something, it comes on with one of these brutal songs.
That's
that
that
keep
God. I can
trying
only
to
hope.
search.
She's like watching like some
That
amazing,
is
like nice
awesome.
uplifting show on
Yeah, like
CW or something.
The Great American Race or something, and then it's just you hear
British cook-off, the baking cook-off.
Mulder,
You should just
or
go ahead and turn something on and leave it
That'd
on.
be a Molder would be nice, a good old fuming mouth coming through.
yeah. I'm gonna ask her later. I'm gonna be like, was that like playing on the TV upstairs? It has to.
I wonder.
I'm surprised she
I
wouldn't
wonder
tell you
if
about
like. I wonder if like we took a Mulder album now and we did the same exercise. I wonder if it would give us Maul.
it. Never know,
I don't know.
Brando.
Yeah,
You're living
We'll
on
have
the
to-
edge with those kind of talk. That
we'll
kind
have
of
to
talk.
try. We'll have to try that sometime.
Well,
know.
A little out of line here, buddy.
I'm a dreamer.
Yeah. Well, so that was cool because some cool bands. We all got to learn something, especially me, and also we got to hear a few extra bands.
Me,
George,
yeah.
is that George?
It's George Costanza.
I thought so. I thought it was George.
Yeah, thanks.
Looking good, George. Jorge, it's good
He's
to see you,
dope.
my friend.
He's out of here. He's gone.
Oh, Gonzo. All right. Well, so, the next segment, which I think is freaking hilarious, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. This is for anybody who ever saw like the Ollie G or the Borat or Bruno stuff. Bruno had a little segment he did one time where he called it like "Vuss Up" or "Ish Don't Think So," and he would bring up a topic and he asked the person he was interviewing if it was "Vuss Up," which is like something that's like something that's good, all about it, or "Ish Don't Think So," like knock it off, like that's awful, stop it. So I don't know what else to say except to get into it, but we'll do a warm-up round, okay?
Okay, warm up round.
A warm-up round. And so this one right here should be pretty easy, is all of the hype surrounding baby metal, okay? All of the hype surrounding baby metal.
Okay.
Do you
Ish
guys
don't think so.
Oh, he says Ish don't think so. All right, so Brandon,
Think
what do you got?
so. Mm-mm.
Ish don't think so. All right,
Just don't think so, but
I'm gonna have to actually say, and I'm sorry, baby metal, but Ish don't think so. And I don't know if they do this, like, is their own thing, but like that's not metal. That's NWO Wolfpack.
yeah, that's exactly what that is.
That's what that is.
Yeah,
Like,
they do that.
This
Dude,
is metal, and so like
I don't get that. Like the first time I saw them must have been 5 years ago, and it's like sold out arenas, and these girls are on the stages the size of Taylor Swift, and they're like, like I don't. I was gonna do an impression, but that would sound racist, Like it just isn't. It isn't it. And in the background, there's like this whole band of like guys playing metal, in like darker costumes, so you really can't see them because they're not supposed to be part of the show. But like, I always got these weird vibes that they're like hired by the Yakuza or something to make money. Like it doesn't seem like real like what are they like? Those girls don't like that music. I don't know. When I first saw it, maybe I'm sure they like metal and all that, but it feels to me like very fake, industry produced in Asia. Like just some very rich warlords behind them controlling all of that. That's not a
Mhm.
real band. That's like
You can see the
robots.
strings like from
Yeah,
the.
like that's a weird deal. I'd like to hear the real like origin of that band.
And to be fair, all this coming from a group right now of 40-year-old guys who listen to old school death metal and hardcore music. And
Sure.
so times change, music changes, and I'm happy for them because they're out there making money selling, and so I think that's
Yeah,
great. But I'm
sure.
with you guys. It's hard for me to get into it. So all around the board, warm up round, baby metal hype, Ish Don't Sink So from the metal block.
Mhm.
And okay, so do you guys want to do like an extreme one?
Sure, bring it on.
All
Sure.
right. So Greg, you kind of brought a couple of topics to mind, and the one I'm going to bring up right now
Classic
is
Greg.
yeah, Greg's always got like the crazy stories, but band Dragged
Mm.
by Chains, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was a Maryland show called Christmas, and they threw like deer heads out into the crowd, and they all got like mutilated
Yeah,
and
the band Dragged
stuff.
by Chains had a buddy who was a butcher apparently, and for some reason they thought it'd be a good idea at Crustmas, crust punk Christmas, which you can say that it's like a black metal show, and that's why they did it because it's black metal. And then there's people saying like, no, it's crust punks. That's what crust punks do. And it's like nobody does this, but yeah, the band had a butcher friend that gave him two deer heads, and they threw him into the crowd. And this young girl, she was probably like 16 or 17 or something, lifted it up and did all this weird stuff with it and took pictures with it. And she was wearing corpse paint and all that. And she made some TikTok talking about how cool it was. Now she doesn't care, and it's no big deal. And like, it's black metal. And then the crowd proceeded to stomp on them and like shatter their jaws and tear them apart. And it just got really weird to the point where it's, yeah, I don't know. Really, really weird where the band like turned on the fans and like said we don't support what the fans did to the deer heads, even though we threw them out. But anyways, that's the story of what happened.
Even
Yeah,
though they
so
brought it, egged it on, threw it
yeah,
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
It's their fault.
pretty
What they chose to do with it is their.
Really disrespectful,
pretty
bad
pretty
stuff.
interesting. So an extreme version, What's up? Or in the metal world, Ish Don't Sink So.
Ish don't think so.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's a
Each
big
one,
one.
each at all.
Ish don't
That's
think so. Ish don't
uh-uh.
think
No.
so.
Uh-uh.
All right.
But
So
they're getting destroyed online. They're canceled completely. Like they're done for that. So that's a good thing, I
well,
think.
it almost turned in from a concert to like some sort of, and I mean, it is black metal. You guys remember that band, or if you've ever heard of them, Gorgoroth, I think is what their
Oh
name
yeah.
was.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so Gorgoroth did some crazy stuff in the '90s. I think it was
Yeah.
like maybe it was even the early 2000s. I remember they were signed to Nuclear Blast at that time,
Yeah.
and Nuclear Blast was like and dropped them
Dude,
like right after
Watain
that.
brought like all these trash bags full of like actual rotted goat carcasses to all these venues in America, and like there were venues that had replaced all their flooring, all their carpeting. They got banned from all these places, and yeah, at that point, that was like early 2000s. Everyone was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
not it." We're out.
Uh huh.
Like
So
come
I
on.
mean, there is a history in black metal of this kind of being done, but
But this is weird how they all ripped them apart and all that in the mosh pit. Like
yeah. So
it's just that's not it.
in the metal block world, ish don't think so. There, we're
No,
here to listen to the music, and that just kind of made it not
we
fun.
respect wildlife at the metal block.
Yeah, yeah, we do
True.
for sure.
What's next?
True.
All right,
True.
so let's get off of that and a little sourpuss and move over to something that's actually a little bit more current in the metal world. You guys have heard the band Nevermore is
Mm-hmm.
talking about making a comeback. I actually think they might even already have concerts and stuff lined up, shows stuff. So Nevermore coming back, okay, and it's with two of the original members, but two of the members that were with the band whenever Warrell Dane died, one of them being Warrell Dane, and then the bassist Jim Shepard, are not. Obviously, Warrell's dead, died in 2017. I think he died of a heart attack, and I hope I'm saying that right. It might not have been, but I feel like it might have been, or stroke or something. and then Jim Shepard, the bassist, who at the time, whenever the band was over with, at Worrell's passing, he was the only original member left in the band. So Jim Shepard is not going to be a part of this reunion, and so there was some sourness, I know, that originally came out, and I forget where I heard that started, but I know that he has since said something along the lines that despite not being asked to be a part of it, he wishes them the best. And so, Nevermore coming back, two of the original members, obviously not Worrell Dane, so they're going to have to find a new vocalist. So, Nevermore, reunion, Voss up, or you still think so?
Buzz up.
I'll give it the bus up. I'll give the old bus up on that. You know,
Voss up.
we all supported the Pantera reunion. You know, I mean, we got to support that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool the way that I mean, like even if Jim's not part of it, because I read the open letter from Van and Jeff Loomis that they put out, kind of addressing Jim and the negativity and stuff, and like apparently there was some really bad blood there, and I guess I don't know what they don't go into detail, but apparently, what was it? Van said something about some things in the past can't be undone and unsaid. So my guess is he didn't end things well with Jeff and Van. Jeff and Van stayed in contact. In the letter, they even said Worrell Dane reached out at least a couple times a year, but they hadn't talked to Jim since the band broke up. So, like, I guess why would they invite him? And
Yeah, they're not buddies anymore.
Numbers, I mean, then especially Jeff, I know was founded in '92. I know he was. I just was just looking it up, and so I mean, hell, he's got every right to start it up if he wants. Really, I mean, I guess this day and age, I mean, they're business, right? So I guess it depends on who actually owns it. But
so who in the world could they ever get to replace those vocals?
Well, they're doing auditions for bass
vocals and bass.
vocals.
I saw that. For anybody out there, there is Inside Four Walls is one of the bass songs that you can learn to play, and you can submit it. And
make sure you're
the other
standing up.
song? Is it Existence?
Oh, it was like Enemies
in
of
reality
or something. Yeah, I think so.
Enemies of Reality. Thank you, Brandon. That's it. Enemies of Reality.
They did go in to say they're not looking for a Worrell Dane like copycat. They want somebody that can honor and like do kind of pay tribute to the way he did things, but they're looking to move forward, and they want somebody that's going to. They're trying to start a new music and new sound. Like they're not just looking for a world like they even say we can't replace him, so nobody can do that, but. They're looking for somebody to fill the shoes, essentially, but not be a copycat. So
that's probably a good thing, because
yeah,
you want, whenever you're bringing people in to your group, and especially if you want them to be a part of the band and not just be like a singer for hire, then you've got to let them bring what they've can bring to the table, and they might find somebody that sounds like really similar to them. Not to step away from metal, but Alice in Chains, Lane Staley, like they've had the singer that they've had now, I think, longer than Lane Staley was.
That guy is awesome though that they added. He kills it.
And he's good. Like, and they constantly still put out good music. And do they get the coverage that they got when Lane was in the band and it was like MTV Unplugged and all that stuff? No, they don't, but they still put out good music, and the singer can even belt out some really haunting Lane Staley kind of sounds. But
yeah,
he's not Lane Staley, and he's not really trying to be. He is paying homage to the sound of the band. He's paying respect to the people that were there before him too. So
have you heard the new Soundgarden guy yet, by chance, or seen that video of him stage diving onto his face? You haven't seen that? Check that out. I'll send it to you guys later. It's good stuff.
All right, everybody. You too. Check it out, Soundgarden. So, we talked about Nevermore already having a show. It says, who sent this? Did you send this, Brandon?
Send what?
Saw them on this tour. So, Demi Borgir, Nevermore, Children of Bodom, and Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, man. There's a name of old. Jeez.
I wasn't saying that's like a new tour.
Oh, I see this
I
date.
saw them on that tour back in
This
like
yeah, yeah,
2003.
yeah. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Yeah,
Never
no,
mind. I was like,
that's not a new tour.
yeah, you're right. I see the
It's
date
old
on
as
here now,
shit.
man. So Zoomy and his dates. He struggles with dates, and so
That would be
uh,
awesome though,
I
if
was
you
like,
and
because
Jimmy
I was like
Borgir and
hypocrisy. Yeah,
yeah,
I was sitting there
Dude,
and I was like,
Children of
woo.
Bodom are on that thing. Like they're
I see. Yeah, July 24th, 2003. So,
yeah.
anyways,
yeah, Deep
hashtag
Ellum, Deep
not
Ellum,
there.
Dallas, Texas, Deep Ellum, Deep
Wow,
Ellum
man.
Live.
Demi Borgir, what a show. What a
Oh
show.
man.
That was a
That's crazy.
killer show. That was awesome.
That's crazy. Well, that's all of the What's Up, and Ish Don't Think So. So, thanks for playing along. What a great time, I think.
Buzz off.
So, was there any additional news that you guys wanted to mention?
Well, I just want to throw out this is our first episode of 2025. So, welcome to the new year, everybody. We have some big things in store coming up, especially in the first quarter of the year. We have 4 interviews lined up already, which we are excited about. So, keep an eye out for announcements and postings and teasers and stuff like that regarding those. We also have sponsored 2 music events in March. They are the same week, like March 11th here in Houston, Texas. The Aborted tour that's coming through, the Terrifying America with Ingested and Peeling Flesh and oh my gosh, Extermination, Dismemberment. I think there's one
Stabbing?
more. I'm drawing a blank. Hmm?
Is it stabbing on it?
They dropped out. They had to
Yeah,
Okay.
drop off and they're
stabbing had to
replaced by
drop off.
Extermination,
That's
Dismemberment.
right, that's right. Never mind.
Um, and then the other awesome event that we are sponsoring
Ingested?
is a two maybe we'll see, 2 day festival here in Houston, put on by L&D Productions, the Gulf Coast Death Fest 4. So yeah, keep an eye out. We've been sharing some of the L&D production stuff. They're kind of going through and highlighting each band that's going to be on it. So we're sharing those as they put them out, and we'll share any links they send for buying tickets and stuff like that. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be super brutal. I've checked out some of the bands already. Bolt Cutter is on there, Visceral Disgorge, Architectural Genocide. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. So
Did you
keep your
say
eyes out
ingested
for that.
earlier on the aborted tour?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's aborted, ingested, peeling flesh, and then extermination,
Like,
dismemberment.
yeah. Okay. I thought there was one more, but I guess I was
Nope.
wrong. All right. Well, all right then. Yeah, I just wanted to say those things for everybody. Keep your eyes peeled for that stuff. We got some more exciting things coming this year.
And that
Big
Gulf
news
Coast,
coming.
yeah, Gulf Coast Death Fest is going to be that following weekend, right? In
Yes.
March.
Yes. So March 11th is the aborted tour. Then the 14th and 15th, I think it's the 14th and 15th of that same week, just a couple days later, is the Death Fest here in Houston also. So, yeah, if you're in
Awesome.
Houston or a surrounding state, or y'all just want to come see some brutal shit, come on out. Come say what's up. We're going to be set up. We're going to have maybe some goodies to give away, but come say hi. Tell us what you like or don't like about us in the podcast, whatever.
Yeah,
Come on by.
just say what's up. Just say
Yeah,
what's up.
that's all I got.
All right. Well, I think that's really about everything that we have to talk about today. So a little bit shorter episode, but we got a lot coming up, and some really great bands, great interviews. So be on the lookout for that information. And everybody, we appreciate you. We appreciate you hanging out with us and riding this train into the new year again. So without, I guess, anything else to talk about, Metal Block over and out.
Later.
Peace.